In this video, I'm going to take you through using your Google Drive. So the first thing we're going to do is go to Chrome, and hopefully on our Google page. In these 9 squares, you'll see this triangle, it says Drive. We're going to click on that. And we're going to go into this space, My Drive. Yours will be empty. Now what we're going to need to do is populate this space with your subject folders. Google Drive is going to be where you organize your files that you make for your subjects. So if you have an assessment that is perhaps a written essay, you will create the document in here and work on it through your Google Drive. So first we're going to make some folders. We can do this 2 ways. We can select New, Folder, and then we can type in your subject. So you might want to get your timetable out and just have that next to you so you can make sure you create a folder for each of those subjects. Another way we can do that is by right-clicking anywhere in this space. So right-clicking on your touchpad or on your mouse. If you're using a Mac, you do that with 2 fingers. So you press the touchpad with 2 fingers and that should right-click for you. And you can continue doing that for the rest of your subject folders. You might like to pause the video and go get that section done now. Next, let's just say you prefer a list view. I prefer my folders in this kind of block view. However, over here we can change our view options and we can change them to list. You get a little bit more information as well. So you can see who owns the folder, because items can be shared with you, and that could mean that these might have other names in them as well. Last modified, so if you share a folder, which I'll take you through shortly, with a teacher, then this can also be changed here. First we're going to go through color coding. So this is a bit of a dull way to look, I guess, at your subjects. So we're going to right click on the folder. So I know I've right clicked on the folder when it goes this kind of grey blue. Right click, change color, and these are the colors that you can choose from. Now it's important to go through actually creating a document and what documents are available to you to use within Google Drive or within the Google for Education suite. Again, we can do this one of 2 ways. I can go New. I'm just going to go more so you can see the suite that is available to us. But most commonly, you will probably most likely be using Google Docs, Google Sheets, or Google Slides, which is for essentially Word documents, spreadsheets, and PowerPoints are the equivalent to Office products as well, Microsoft Office. Now if I am in this space where I can see all of my subject folders and I select New Google Doc, whenever you create a new document, you should always change the title. So up here and up here where it says Untitled, we change it to what it is we're working on. So it could be English, Who Am I, Task, potentially. Now what I'm going to do is just refresh this page. Now the problem is if I am in this section and I create a new document, or I right click and create a new Google document in this space, this is clearly an English task. If I create it out here where I can see all of my subject folders, then it's going to get messy really fast. So, and it's a bit unnecessary and annoying for me to drag and drop it into my English folder, where I can go into my English folder first. So I'm just going to delete this so I can show you. Right click, remove. So I'm inside of my English folder and I'm going new, Google Docs. First thing we're going to want to do is change that to who am I task. And there we go. We like to work in this space for a couple of reasons. So I'm just going to say and we can see that symbol up the top that said saving. All changes saved in Drive. So the beauty of working in Google Docs is that we have this auto save feature that as we're working, our document is automatically saving for us. So I do recommend always creating a document, regardless of if it's a Google Doc or a spreadsheet or a Google slide, within your subject folder. The next thing I wanted to show you is the star button and how the star button works. So the whole idea of your starred folder is, let's just say the term continues on and you've got tasks that you're no longer working on, and you've got new tasks that you really want to focus on, and instead of going inside of your folder and kind of searching for a task, you can right click on them and add to the starred folder. And basically this is where it will live, the important documents that you might want to have quicker access to. That's one way. You can do that with whole folders as well. Right click and starred. However, then you've got this wonderful space which pretty much does the same thing without you having to star it, which is the priority. So this will always have up for you your most recent activity in Google Drive. So I just had that Who Am I task open. I created it just now. That's my most recent activity. Next, we're going to go through quickly. You might like to pause this, have a bit of a play around with your Google Drive, see if you can make a couple of documents and see what that looks like. Please make sure, just for your own organization, to remove those documents as well, because you might not be needing them. And wait for your teacher's instruction to create in this space. So sharing, and what happens when you share items. Typically, you will only be sharing items really with your teacher, because the collaborative space where we work on documents with our peers will be set up in a different program called Canvas. And your teachers will be taking you through that as you need to use it. So if we need to share something, I'll probably bring back that document. So I just selected Control-Z to undo my removed document, because I'm actually going to show you how to share with both of these. So 7 English, see this little symbol up here? I'm going to share that. I'm going to share that with the digital technology teacher, Mr. Pepler. Just telling him that it's a test that I'm running, and you might like to write a message. What happens is that when you share this with your teacher, it will actually email them. So whatever you put in this section, you can write it as a message and give them information about what it is exactly that you're sharing. We're sending. And I'm just going to refresh this so it says shared with one person. Now what you can see is that there's a little profile picture in this folder, and what that means is I've shared this whole folder with somebody else. And let's just say I've forgotten who I've shared it with. I can select the folder and then come up here in the top right where I say View Details, and I can see who else has access to that folder. The same applies for the documents inside the folder. So this is actually shared. Everything that would be inside this folder is shared with everybody. However, if I want to share just the document and not the whole folder, I right-click on the document, or I select it and select who are my tasks. So a lot of the symbols that you see around the side can also be located in here. So we're going to share, and you can see that it's already shared with Mr. Pepler because I shared the whole folder, but maybe I want to share just this document with somebody else, with another teacher. So that's how that space works. And sharing, you won't need to do it unless you are specifically asked to do it. So if you are asked to please share with me from your Google Drive such and such, that's how you would be doing that. So that's really the fundamentals of working in your Google Drive. You're going to need to manage this space by yourself. So it's taking ownership of your organization and ensuring that you're following instruction in class and that your Google Drive is reflective of what you are being asked to do.